Are we live?
Live here as well.
Oh, double live. Boom, boom. Happy, healthy, beautiful Friday to you guys. Hope you're having an amazing day. Where am I looking? All right. Welcome to you guys who are checking us out on Instagram, or if you guys are checking us out on Facebook, checking us out. Hey,
It's been
how
a
you
while,
doing?
isn't it?
It's been a minute.
I'm kind of like feeling like the butterflies, kind of like
Are you?
nervous. Yeah.
You're a bit sweaty.
No, I'm
Yeah?
not sweaty at all. Like,
All right.
silky skin.
Silky smooth. I don't know. Look at that. Wow. But guys, we want to do a quick live with you guys just to share the importance of what is it?
No.
I want to share the importance of teamwork as a couple. As you see, we have some fun. We
From
push.
time to time, not so much, but we do our best, isn't it?
I don't know if I go so far as to say that's
no,
a bit
yeah,
harsh, isn't it?
that's true. That's true. Just sometimes we kind of like don't communicate with the same language, and I think that's important as well, that we can be transparent about that as well. Because
Well, I'm working on your language, so give me time.
that's one thing as well. When we are working with two different cultures from two different languages, and everything is different between the two of us, you have to improve a lot of your communication in order to really have a long-lasting marriage. We next year are celebrating our 10th anniversary. What is so funny?
It's just the way you said that was like, we have to work on it for it to be a long-lasting marriage.
Ah, no, but it's true though. I
Of
think
course
the
it is,
base of any
absolutely.
marriage is communication, and especially because we work together as well. Sometimes we do clash head to head, like because I'm saying something, you are understanding something else, because my vocabulary just sometimes goes just as far, and sometimes it's harder. But I'm very glad that we work together because we are a good team.
are.
That has to be said.
So I just want to share a couple of insights with you guys to enhance your teamwork. If you are a couple, and if it's just you, yourself, and Irene, so to speak, then
Great movie.
be a better teammate for yourself first and foremost, because it's very easy, first of all, to talk shit about yourself. It takes work to have a level of emotional intelligence to say, ooh, I'm going through a bit of a tougher spot right now, but I need to just step back from it, take a breath, and go, what's the learning in this for me? And not to go into that easy route of complaining or whining or whinging or giving yourself stick for not being good enough or not being equipped enough with a situation. It's just stepping back from it, taking a breath, and say, look, this is a problem, but life is one big problem. It's a series of problems intertwined together in a whole mishmash of situations and experiences that we have to just figure out and get through. And the important thing is just take a breath. And if you feel like you're on your own in a given moment, then maybe it's time for you to call in a friend, so to speak. Like
a friend that is like aligned with you and aligned with the goals that you have. I think that's very important as well. Like sometimes we don't have maybe the couple, the other half, so to speak, to be your teammate, to be your other partner in business or in whatever you are looking at. But when it comes to friends, it's also good to be aligned with friends that think like you, that wants the same thing that you do. Sometimes you're a very ambitious person, so you're going to be very much finding help more from friends that are also ambitious. And sometimes it's good to have a connection with a mentor, so to speak, someone that have done what you want to do, that have accomplished what you want to accomplish, and they can guide you through as well. Because there's a lot of pitfalls in life that sometimes you just can't figure it out. But certainly someone that you sometimes don't even know exactly what you're going through can guide you through a path of least resistance, because they have done it and they know now how to guide you better because they have done or they have gone through it, right?
Yeah, so first of all, I think one of the biggest piece of advice I could give someone, if you are working as a couple in any capacity, well, obviously being married is or having a serious boyfriend, girlfriend, is work. It takes commitment. And like Isa was saying, the more aligned you can be with that person, doesn't mean you have to be living in their pocket, but if you guys have similar visions for each other, then that's where the juice is, that you bring your best self to the table, they bring their best self to the table, you're moving forward in parallel motion or forward motion towards a common goal. And that's really where I believe our best life is. And, for the most part, I think people whose relationships break down is that over that journey, they just start to drift away with a different vision as to what that is for them. So being honest I think is a critical part of teamwork, is be absolutely honest with the other person so that you can articulate what you need. And that can go for your personal life, could go for your business, can go for any team environment, that you communicate what you need, but also what you can bring to the table, because you may have unique strengths, or you may have areas, not necessarily a weakness, but you're just not as competent, and it'll take you longer to go and learn a skill rather than leverage someone else's skill set.
We can use ourselves as an example, and that's something that I think has improved a lot in our relationship, was when we made a commitment to work towards the same goal. Like in Ireland, I was working as a waitress. Sometimes I worked in retail, and I was very unhappy. But I saw that Eric had this desire to really make our Reishi business succeed. And I was just like a spectator. I was just like the supportive wife, so to speak. And he also wanted to do his fitness program and everything, that he had all the expertise on that side of the business. He had all ready to go there. Like, he is a absolutely knowledgeable man when it comes to functional fitness and everything towards the health aspect of things. And I saw the opportunity to kind of explore a bit of what I was passionate about, but I never had the time or even the incentive to actually learn the skills that required for me to become a video editor, become a designer, a graphic designer, become all these kind of little things that would intertwine with what you wanted to do and accomplish a bigger goal, that was to have our fitness program, that was to grow our Reishi business. So we became a better team when we both combine our strength. So I don't try to do his side of the business, and he doesn't try to do my side of the business, and we communicate back and forth when it comes to that. And I think that's what's so powerful, is that we are all in-house, kind of completely
one-stop shop, baby.
One-stop shop, baby.
You're very small here on the lens. I just noticed you're like my. You see, maybe raise your chair up, and we can raise it up on. There we go. All right.
There you go.
That's more like it.
So yeah, I think that's when I started noticing that we had improved big time our relationship as well. Sometimes it is a little bit hard for us to kind of like, okay, switch off business talk and let's just talk.
Have a relationship,
like a couple thing. Let's just stop talking
Turn
business.
on some Barry White.
But we are just so passionate about what we are doing, and we see the potential, and we see the potential coming from the testimonials and from both sides of our business, from both businesses. And it's just give it the fire, like to keep moving. But I think there is something so special about moving together as a couple, doing the things that we are doing as a couple, and in future as a family, because our kids are going to grow with the same kind of values that we have and that we share. And I think that's very good.
Yeah, and I think just when you mentioned that about kids as well, is setting an example. We don't have a family yet.
Oh, we have Ted is what?
Well, we have Ted
That's
Bear.
A child here.
He is our little baby.
Baby dog.
But yeah, we were in Houston recently for our company's convention, and just listening to one of the speakers talk about what you're doing right now. What are you building? What are you contributing your energy to right now? And if it doesn't impact upon your next generation and what you're doing currently to improve their lives, then you want to really reassess how you're working and how you're spending your time. Because if you're not creating more abundance in this time, so that when those little fellows or ladies come along, you want to have quality time with them. So we don't want to be in a situation where we don't have time to spend with family. We hustle now so that later on down the line, we have more choices to spend more time and allocate more time to the things that matter most to us. So that's really it. That's really why we're focused on doing what we're doing, and not only having a better lifestyle ourselves, but also to enhance lifestyle for other people. And there's no better way than actually doing that than doing that. So
to figure it out on the way, isn't it? I think that's what stops a lot of people when they are starting anything. And as a couple or as an individual, when you start anything, you probably know one side of what you want to do. You're passionate about one little thing, whatever it is, big or small. But when you start a new project, there's so many hats that you have to wear as an entrepreneur, or whatever you wanted to call yourself when you start this project, that a lot of people just get themselves stuck of kind of like, I don't know what to do next, so I better just stick with this job because it pays the bills. And I think that's very sad, because most people actually in some point in their life look back and say like, okay, I have to make a change. I have to change something about my life, but I'm too old, or I don't have the time anymore, or I have my kids to feed, whatever it is. So I think starting something alongside of what you're doing, especially when you can get yourself with other people that are doing the same thing, that are grinding with you, that are figuring out things as you go, that can learn with. I think that's very important. But first and foremost is to give the first step. And I think that's how I started Reishi Warriors. Like when we first, and I say that because when I come back to our Instagram in the beginning, it's completely different from what we have today. And it was something that changed and changed over time because we gave the first step, because we didn't want to have everything figured out before start. Our first step was like, okay, we're gonna move to Portugal and we figured out as we go. And that's what we did. And I'm very glad that we did that, because today we are growing. And it's a strong growth because we know where we are going, and people get attracted to you because they can see that you are leading somewhere, and they want to follow someone that is sure about what they are doing. That's the most important thing. So it's not being a kind of like, maybe you should see what I have here. Just maybe it's for you, maybe it's not. Look, I know where I'm going. If you're going to be with me or not, it's absolutely up to you. But I know I'm going places. And if you want to join me, it's going to be fantastic because we're going to go to this together. And that's what we did here. It started with you. I was like, maybe not. I don't like it. But you were like just so sure. It's like, I love this product. It changed our health and so many other people's health around us that I'm going to do something with it. And I'm so glad you did, because for me, I would probably have jumped out of the boat for a long time before that. And it's like, I'm going to make it work. And here we are.
Absolutely.
Paradise.
You know what? I think, first of all, I want to quote Jim Rohn, the epic Jim Rohn. If you guys don't know who that is, check him out on YouTube. Check out Jim Rohn, How to Live Your Best Life, or How to Live a Better Life, How to Live Your Best Life. I think it's a 2-hour audio. And it's so great. It's so good. But he says one thing in that video where he said, if you're not happy where you are, then move. You're not a tree. So, you know what? I say that to anyone, is that if you're not happy where you are, move. Figure it out. It may seem like a pain in the ass. It's like, oh, I've even got kids in school, or I have to work my job, or whatever it is. If in 2 or 3 or 5 years' time, your life is exactly the same, then will you be truly happy? And if the answer is no, then I would highly suggest you figure out a plan as to how you could make some changes, because life should be about adventure, not safety and security. It's great to be secure and safe, but I've listened to people recently who have talked about just being let go from jobs, that they thought were solid for life. And, not that this is
talking to Melanie yesterday, like she was in a 6-figure job in the American corporation. Then over COVID, she just lost her job, like overnight. How scary is that? It's the one thing when you lose a job in a retail that you make minimum wage anyway. So it's kind of like, yeah, well, I figured out some other job that I can do for the same amount of money. But when you have that amount of security and somebody's taking over because whatever, the cuts are there and you are just one more, that's scary. So I think one thing that I love about what we have is that we just grind together. We just figure it out. It's painful to live around here, whatever. Okay, what can we do? And we do it together. So there's not one pulling back. So like, maybe we should stay here for safety. No, it's just like.
Just on that point, big shout out to Michael, by the way. How are you, mate? Good to see you, my man. And hey, Niamh as well. And guys, if you just joined, we're talking about working together as a couple, the importance of teamwork. And we've all heard that thing, there's no I in team, or together everyone achieves more, that acronym. And it sounds a little bit cheesy, but it's really true. It's really, really true, because if you position yourself as the go-to guy or girl for your life, whether it's, in business, if you got a business, or you're trying to be more organized or whatever it is, you end up being the main cog in your own wheel. And if you are the main cog in your own wheel, you'll eventually, I'm going to steal this, you'll eventually become the main clog in your wheel. So everybody needs help in whatever area of life that it is. It doesn't have to be a couple. It doesn't have to be that partnership, but finding people, like Isa mentioned earlier, that will help bring up your game, no matter what it is. If it's your health, if it's your fitness, if it's your finances, it's spirituality, whatever it is, seek people that have the results in the areas that you want to excel in, and completely mute out everyone else, because noise and this, oh, that feels nice to get out of that position. Noise, distraction, rah rah, blah blah, who knows what rah is going to be distracting you. And like I said earlier, life is a whole navigation of problems. I just think of Aikido. If you're familiar with the martial art Aikido, that is about passing energy and deflecting energy. There's so much crap coming at us with distraction on social media or family or people, negative people, or offerings, beautiful shiny objects that look amazing but can really distract you from what you really want to achieve. So here is one thing I actually learned this week. We've set ourselves a huge goal this year. And one of our mentors, our business mentors, said, when you double down on your activities and your goals, you're going to get all these little emergencies popping up. Like, oh my God, I need to do this. Yeah. Or, oh, something else is important. I need to go and do this. And Stephen Covey talks about that in his book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, is the difference between what's urgent and what's important. And if you guys have ever read that book or you haven't read the book, most people fall into the urgency category of my to-do list. Oh, I've got to go do this. I've got to do that. I've got to do this. But in the greater scheme of life, the important stuff that you do, i.e. spending more time building relationships, building a relationship with yourself, working on your health strategies, working on your family strategies, working on whatever it is that's really important, get pushed to the wayside because it's not urgent. So maybe that's something for you guys to think about. What are some of the, let's say, start with one thing. Forget about 5 things or 10 things. What is one thing that you can do right now that is going to move your life into a better position? If you double down, you just do a little bit every single day, that your life is going to be better as a consequence of doing the one thing. That was actually a book as well, The One Thing. Your first 90 minutes of your day, what is the one thing you can do, you can double down on, that as a consequence of doing that one thing, that everything else in your life is better? So just start with that, guys. What's one thing you can do, as this is a teamwork and couple concept or idea for this life, what's one thing you can do as a couple that can bring your relationship closer together? Are you taking enough time to listen to your partner? Or is it a case of, where's your phone, honey? It's over there.
Charging, as always.
I don't like having conversations with this lady, and the two of us are like, So if you need to talk to the other person, just get into the habit of, hey, honey, listen, I need to speak to you about something. Okay. Because having to look, this has happened. I'm guilty. She's guilty. I'm sure you guys are guilty as well. Is the saddest thing, the most upsetting thing, is life passing by between two people and they're just sitting on their freaking phone, just doing this.
Yes.
And we use our phones and technology a lot for connecting with people and trying to accomplish our mission. But that should never be at the cost of the quality of the relationships you have with the people that are closest to you.
Yeah.
You know, so just be mindful of that thing. Are you really listening and present with people? And I think that's one of my biggest challenges with us, is being present. Mm-hmm. Because if I'm really present, then I'm not anxious. Because if I see communication as being a distraction from what I'm doing, then I get anxious. That's how I am, because I'm so intense. I'm like, I'm doing this thing. And honey, if you talk to me now, I'm doing this thing. And I intensely want to commit. I think that's just my attention, my hyper focus on intensity of doing things. That's why I think sometimes people are like, whoa, this guy's energy is a bit much. I'm going to go through. And that's totally cool. Maybe I need to calm it down. But when it comes to the two of us, I realize now that I can disengage from this thing, whatever this is, on computer and phone, and go, this is the most important moment. Not this, but this. And if you can just separate the distractions in life from the real substance and being present with people, I think you're going to be a happier, less stressed person. So if that's the one thing you need to do, is to be consciously practicing being present with people. When you're with someone, be with someone. When you're in a place, which Jim Rohn would say, be in a place.
Like whenever somewhere, be there. That's how we say.
Be there, you know?
Never someplace. be there.
Yeah.
It's so important, and I remember actually watching this video over and over again because I listen to Jim Rohn from time to time. He's on my Spotify, and I love when he says that because for a long time I saw myself into this trap of not being present because I had just like a distraction thing in my hand. And of course, we're not perfect. There is no such a thing as a perfect relationship, but it's so good that we are working on the things that we know can be very detrimental detrimental for a relationship. And in the communication, like I said in the beginning, not having the same mother language already put us in a position that we have to listen and we have to articulate what we wanted to say better, because sometimes he says something to me that I don't understand the way that he wants to say, and then sometimes I want to say something to him that maybe my vocabulary doesn't allow me to say exactly how it goes in my mind, and then the communication is broken. So we have to stop, we have to stay to stay apart, cool down, and then okay, let me try to explain again, and then we move from there. And many people don't have that problem because they speak the same language. But you guess what, when I made a post about this on my Facebook, a friend of mine from school, from high school, he said, well, because I commented like sometimes I say A and you understands B, and he said like that is not a language problem, like that literally happens with every single couple. And that just made me realize it's like the communication is the base of any healthy relationship, for absolutely any relationship and any marriage, any mom and child or dad and child. And like any relationship worth having is worth getting better at communicating and make yourself clear and be patient as well.
Patience is one of the best skills we can use.
Oh, wow.
Mommy, hello,
my mom.
Oi,
By the
Mai,
way,
tudo
I want to just
bem?
to stop today to say happy birthday, Mom. It's your
Do you want to
birthday
sing a
today.
happy birthday?
No, I think we sang this morning.
Happy birthday
Here comes Eric.
to you. Oh, my number 2. It's your
Mine.
birthday. Mine.
No,
Happy birthday, Rosemary.
I don't know if she's there yet. Is she still
Oh,
there?
Rosemary, I hope
Oh,
you're
she's
still
not.
there.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. So, guys, we're going to leave on that note. We're going to go eat some food. We're going to have some, what are we having?
Brazilian barbecue.
Brazilian barbecue. Love it. So, guys, go be brilliant. I hope our madness lends some insight into living your best life. And if it doesn't, then let us know and we'll get better because we want to get better. So, anything you want to add to
That is
honey?
it. I'm getting hungrier.
Beautiful. We're going to be on tomorrow. We're going to have a conversation around entrepreneurship. Next week, we have also a health call around joint health.
That's a very important one,
Yeah.
guys.
If
Especially
you guys
after
have-
you pass the 35,
Well, before that.
40, before that, especially. No, I mean, better prevention is better than cure, right?
Any of you guys have joints that you want to feel better about, then definitely tune in on that call. But we have lots of stuff coming up over the coming weeks.
We're going to be showing up here more often as well.
More
Why
often
not?
is at least 5 days a week. We've made that commitment. We need to share our energy, share our passion, enthusiasm for living your healthiest and most abundant life. We're going to show up here. So if you like us, then share us. We appreciate it. So love to you all. Have an epic day. And as Elvis would say,
Oh, here comes.
love me tender, love me true. Okay, we're going. Love to you all, guys. Time to eat.
Bye, guys.
Ciao. Oh, happy birthday.